15 Things You Didn't Know About Tim Ferris. Welcome to Alux.com, the place where future billionaires come to get inspired. Hello Aluxers, and welcome to another exciting original video presented by Alux.com. Today we're talking about enormously influential author, blogger, entrepreneur, public speaker, and lifestyle expert Tim Ferris. Timothy Ferris was born July 20th, 1977 in East Hampton, New York. He went to a boarding school in Concord, New Hampshire, and spent some time as an exchange student in Japan. Despite not being a very good student, Tim was admitted to Princeton, and he claims this was because his admission essay stood out. He received a degree in East Asian Studies. Tim struggled with finding fulfillment in life and went from working for a Silicon Valley startup to creating his own nutritional supplement company. A nervous breakdown caused him to take off to London, and he learned how to manage his business with as little effort as possible, which led him to writing his best-selling book, The 4-Hour Workweek. Since then, he's written 3 other best-selling books and has become a sought-after speaker and lifestyle coach. He found much success as an angel investor and has also briefly had his own television show called The Tim Ferris Show. His influence is particularly seen when he recommends certain products through his blogs, and sales of those products increase dramatically. He currently has a net worth of $100 million, but does not live a lavish lifestyle, preferring to spend his money more on experiences than material things. If you're new here, welcome. Be sure to subscribe and follow us on Instagram at Alux. Okay, enough with the background. Let's get to the 15 things you didn't know about Tim Ferris. Number 1. He made $533 an hour teaching speed reading while in college. While at Princeton, Tim tried his hand at hosting speed reading seminars on campus. He was making $533 an hour, but he quit because he found the work unfulfilling. Number 2. He took a break from Princeton and moved to Taiwan. Tim has had a few instances in his life where he says he felt he needed to escape where he was and start something new. One of those times was when he was a student at Princeton. He decided to take a leave of absence and ended up moving to Taiwan without too much forethought. While there, he tried to launch a chain of gyms but was unsuccessful. He came back to the United States and completed his degree in 2000. Number 3. He went from making $40,000 a year to $40,000 a month. After he graduated college, Tim took a job with a data storage startup company in Silicon Valley. He worked 12-hour days, making $40,000 a year. He was getting burned out quickly, so he started to consider ideas for his own business. In 2001, he founded Brain Quicken, a sports nutrition company geared toward improving the memory of students. When he rebranded the company to Body Quick and targeted athletes, his company took off and he started making $40,000 a month. Number 4. He doesn't own a car. Tim was known to drive a 10-year-old Volkswagen Golf long after he made his first million. He owned the car until about 2014, when he decided it would make more sense for him to sell his car and either take Uber or walk everywhere he goes. He says it's cheaper, healthier, and less of a headache. Number 5. He spent over $100,000 on products while researching his 3rd book. While writing his 3rd book titled The 4-Hour Chef, Tim wanted to ensure that he recommended only the best products to his readers, so he spent over $100,000 of his own money on various cooking products so that he could test them out himself. Number 6. He suffered from Lyme disease in 2014. Tim was bitten by 6 deer ticks in the span of 2 weeks in 2014. He experienced all the symptoms of Lyme disease, including fatigue, achiness, swollen joints, and memory loss. He did not realize he was suffering from Lyme disease until he went to a doctor after he started forgetting close friends' names, and his knees were so swollen he had trouble getting in and out of bed. It took him about 9 months to fully recover. Number 7. Several of his $25,000 investments have had returns of over $1 million. Tim has become a successful angel investor, getting in early on some very successful startups. He has invested in and advised a number of notable companies, including Uber, Twitter, Facebook, Daily Burn, Shopify, Evernote, and Alibaba. He says several times he has invested $25,000 and ended up with more than $1 million in returns. Number 8. He won a national Chinese kickboxing title. During a rough period in his life, Tim found solace in Sanchu, a form of Chinese kickboxing. He started practicing daily at a gym in Trenton, New Jersey, and he quickly became one of the best in his field. Before competing, he would severely dehydrate himself and use other radical weight loss techniques before weighing in, so that he could compete in a lower weight class. Then, before the competition, he would rehydrate and quickly gain 20 or more pounds to give him an advantage over his opponents. His strategy worked, and he won the national Chinese kickboxing title at the 1999 USAWKF National Sanshu Championship. Number 9. Billy Joel once tipped him $20 when he served him coffee. Tim grew up in the wealthy neighborhood of East Hampton, New York. However, his family was not among the rich and famous that tended to show up during the summers. But Tim had the chance to interact with some A-listers through his series of service industry jobs, including working at an ice cream parlor, the iconic seafood shack called the Lobster Roll, and the elegant Maidstone Arms Hotel. He recalls that he once served Billy Joel a cup of coffee, and the legendary singer left him a $20 tip. Number 10. For his 36th birthday, he raised over $100,000 for charity water. For his 36th birthday, Tim asked his friends, family, and fans to donate $36 toward his campaign for charity water, a charity that brings clean water to people in developing countries. Tim traveled to Ethiopia with the charity, and it made a significant impact on him. He was able to raise $107,292 on his birthday for the cause. For previous birthdays, he raised $100,000 for public school classrooms, money to build libraries overseas, and donations to help poor youth in developing nations finish school. Some millionaires choose to celebrate their birthdays in much more extravagant ways. To see some examples, check out our video of the 10 most expensive parties ever thrown by clicking in the top right-hand corner. Number 11. He speaks 5 languages. Tim has written several blog posts about how to learn foreign languages quickly, and he seems to know what he's talking about. He speaks 5 languages himself, including English, Spanish, Mandarin, Japanese, and German. And he has studied over 10 more, including Arabic, Italian, Greek, Turkish, and Korean. Number 12. He showed off his breakdancing skills on MTV Taiwan. While on his break from Princeton, Ferris explored different opportunities in Taiwan, and one of them was appearing as a breakdancer on MTV Taiwan. Every now and then he shows off his breakdancing talents. For example, at the 2008 Nielsen Training Conference, he promised the audience that if they laughed at all of his jokes, he would breakdance for them at the end. And he held up his end of the bargain. Number 13. The 4-Hour Workweek was almost titled Dealing Drugs for Fun and Profit. The original title of the 4-Hour Workweek was actually Dealing Drugs for Fun and Profit, but a number of people told Tim this was not a good idea. He ended up coming up with 6 potential titles and created a Google AdWords campaign to see which title gained him the most click-throughs. This led him to settling on the 4-Hour Workweek. Number 14. He holds a Guinness World Record in Argentine Tango. In September of 2006, on an episode of Live with Regis and Kelly, Tim and his dance partner Alicia Monti completed 37 tango spins in 1 minute, gaining them a Guinness Book World Record. They broke their own record of 27 spins they had set at the 2005 Tango World Championships in Buenos Aires. He became the first American to hold a world tango record. Number 15. His hit book, The 4-Hour Workweek, was rejected 25 times. Before his book, The 4-Hour Workweek, Ferris was not a well-known personality. His book was rejected by 25 different publishers before Random House accepted the manuscript. Ferris marketed the book through making connections with bloggers. The book took off quickly and made it to number 1 on the New York Times bestseller list, the Wall Street Journal bestseller list, and the Business Week bestseller list. In total, it spent almost 4 years on the New York Times bestseller list. 2 of his other books, The 4-Hour Body and Tools of Titans, would debut at number 1 on that same list. Now that you've learned more about Tim Ferris, do you think a 4-Hour Workweek is part of your future? Let us know what you think in the comments. Still here, are you? Here's a bonus fact just for you. Tim has traveled extensively and is home only about 3 months out of the year. Out of all of the cities he's visited and all the countries he's traveled to, San Francisco is his favorite by far, and it's the city he calls home. Thank you for spending some time with us, Aluxer. Make sure to subscribe so you never miss a video. If you want more, we handpicked these videos you might enjoy, or head over to Alux.com for the best in fine living content on the planet. Be a part of the largest community of luxury enthusiasts in the world and tell your story.